You know the saying, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll end up among the stars. My interpretation of the meaning of that is dream so big that even if for some reason you don't fully achieve the dream, just because you shot so far out, whatever you end up with will be so much more than you could have possibly ended up with if you had never shot for such a big dream in the first place. I feel like so many times we think if we just make the goals small and achievable, we'll feel like they're more possible to achieve them, and then we'll achieve them faster and then climb the ladder of that up. And that method may work in some cases, but I feel like it just doesn't work when it comes to achieving your dream life. For that, you need a big enough dream to actually motivate you to make the changes in the first place to start following that dream. So stop selling yourself short by dreaming so small-minded and actually make what you really want for yourself the goal. You don't need to settle for less in a universe this abundant. Hi, I'm Julia. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. This video is all about why you need to stop selling yourself short, settling for less, and start dreaming bigger, because the things you want are actually achievable. It takes just as much energy to create a button as it does a castle. So why would you want to exert more effort into making your button of a life when you could be creating your castle of a life? I want to give you guys a little example, a little story from my life of how I actually lived the button versus castle analogy. So if you're familiar with my YouTube channel that you're watching right now, I used to get a lot more views than I do right now. Millions. And honestly, the amount of effort that it took to make a video that was getting 2 million plus views versus a video that maybe only got 2,000 views was the exact same amount of effort. But the difference between the person who was getting 2 million views versus the person who was getting 2,000 views was drastic. And it was all in the mindset. The person who was getting 2 million views had a dream of being bigger than just a YouTuber. The person that was getting 2,000 views had the dream of hoping just to make enough money to get by. So as you can see, those are two very different dreams. So clearly, when you have a dream that is larger than life, you start to achieve things that are larger than the normal person achieves. When you have a dream that is just to get by, just to survive, just to make enough money to get the basics, then you struggle because you're not pushing yourself to believe that you can achieve more. You're just allowing yourself to settle for whatever you can get. The person who was getting 2 million views a video, she was pushing herself to think outside of the box, to allow herself to receive opportunities, ideas, co-creating with others. The person who was only getting 2,000 views a video wasn't open to those opportunities, wasn't co-creating with others, and was just thinking of, what can I do next that will suffice? One was living in lack, one was living in abundance. And guess what? Both of those people lived inside of me. Both of those people were a part of me. Both of those people were versions of me. And they existed in the same mind that you are watching this video from. Right. Meow. The thing about us humans is we are so creative. We are so abundant. We are master manifestors. That we can literally manifest anything we want, and we can also manifest everything we don't want, just based off of what mentality we are using to manifest from. So I manifested an abundance of success just as easily as I manifested an abundance of failure. In fact, the abundance of failure was actually more work and a lot more tiring. TBH. The manifestations of abundance and success was so much more energizing, so much more fulfilling, so much more fun. It was less work too. Things were just kind of lining up. The synchronicities were synchronicity. Whereas the abundance of lack, that was exhausting. The synchronicities were synchroniciting, but in the lackful category. It was like, whatever could possibly go wrong, we'll find a way to go wrong. And then when I was in abundance, it's like, whatever could possibly go right, you bet it found a way to go right. So it's really not about the amount of work and effort that you are doing, because you could do the same amount of work and effort for either. It's really about what you believe is true and possible for you. The universe brings you more of what you are. So if you see yourself as this big success on YouTube or this big success in whatever your career path is, you will become that because you believe that you already are that, and everything will show up to reflect that view. But if you believe you're an imposter and like don't deserve the success that you want, you're gonna manifest the lack of abundance, which is still abundance. It's just the opposite of what you expect abundance to be. You're gonna manifest what you think an imposter would look like, and it's all going to be reflected back to you in this 3D reality, in this world. So now that you know my story and how I manifested some things I really, really desired, and how I also manifested some things I really, really didn't desire, but was putting my focus on, because wherever you put your focus, wherever you put your energy, it grows. So if you're focused on negativity, it will grow. If you're focused on the positivity, it will grow. It's really important to ask yourself, whenever something doesn't go the way you want it to, is this really the dream? So let's say, for example, you think the dream is that you want a cute new townhouse in your hometown. You think that's your dream because you think in a few years it might be achievable for you to buy that house working the job that you're at right now. But that's not really your dream. You're just making it your dream because you don't believe that you can achieve what you really want, and you don't want to get your hopes up about it, and you don't want to let yourself down by making what you really want the dream. So you sell yourself short and you settle for less by making the local townhouse your dream. But really, in reality, you're a beach girly and you would be living beachfront in a beach townhouse or a beach house or whatever house you desire, and it's not in your hometown because your hometown is somewhere in Wisconsin, nowhere near a beach. But you really want to move to Florida and you want a beautiful little beach house in Florida, or a big beach house, it doesn't really matter, however much space you desire, but your dream is to be on the beach. If you're going to set your goals for the house in Wisconsin, you're never going to be happy with it whether you achieve it or not, and you're going to be selling yourself short. And most likely you won't end up achieving that little house in your hometown because you're not going to feel motivated enough to work for it. Whereas if you set your goal as the beach house in your dream town, that goal is going to motivate you enough to work for it and take the actions that you need to take to get that place. So if you don't end up getting the house in your hometown, ask yourself, is this really my dream? Do I really want this house? Or am I just trying to settle for the next best thing? If it's that, there's nothing to be upset about. The universe is actually protecting you by not giving you that house in your hometown because you're meant for more. You're meant to be a coconut. I'm sorry. You're meant to be a coconut girly. Sometimes things you want don't work out for something better and more aligned to happen instead. Another example could be like you're dating a guy and he checks almost all the boxes, but there's just one thing missing. That one thing's like really important, and then he cheats on you. That was the universe protecting you because there's actually somebody out there who checks off all the boxes. And he's not going to cheat on you. He's your person. The cheating was your protection, was the universe being like, nope, we have better. And you were settling. So we're going to blow it up in your face because you were settling, selling yourself short. And we don't like that. We don't like that in our universe. So I like to look at it like this. Think of everyone and every situation in our world as one big blanket or tapestry. We all have a place in this blanket or tapestry. We're all a thread in it. Some threads are closer to other threads. In fact, they're long, so threads are long. They're gonna be close to a bunch of other threads, right? And those threads are gonna cross through it this way. But there's also threads that are gonna go along with it all the way, right? So those threads that are crossing through it are things and people, situations that you're gonna encounter on your journey. But they're not meant to stay, they're just meant to cross through. Spend a moment there. Then there's other threads, right? That are the long threads where you fit in. And those are meant to go with you on your journey. You're supposed to grow with those threads. Some of those are people, some of those are purposes, occupations, careers, preferences, whatever. But those threads are your threads that you're aligned with. These threads are threads that you go through. So there will be things that you will go through, and they will be there, and they will be gone. And then there will be things that you go with, and they will continue along with you. The things that you are settling for, selling yourself short, are the threads that you go through. They're not meant to stick with you. They're not meant to stay. Your dreams, your desires, some of them you might just go through onto the next one, and then some of them will grow with you. So it's important to learn how to practice non-attachment, because many of your dreams and desires will change and grow as you change and grow. Let's say the dream you had of being a coconut girly at the beach in your cute little beach townhouse was the dream, but then you got it, and that dream changed to the cute little, actually not so little, the cute big coconut girly mansion on a beach in the tropical islands. And those dreams are going to keep changing and evolving as you keep changing and evolving. So it's important to continue to shoot higher and higher. And you might hit the moon, you might land among the stars, you might land among the sun. But the higher you shoot, the further along you're going to go. So whether you make a vision board or have a list of your goals, I think something that's really fun to do is to make a bucket list of little dream moments that you either want to go through or you want to grow along with you. But for the sake of the fun bucket list, I just wanted to come up with things I wanted to go through that were fun and set those as little check markers. So I know I can look back and be like, oh, I set that as a check marker. I know that was a goal I set that was big. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I wasn't even necessarily going after it. It was just a little marker in my mind to let me know that I'm on the right path. It's a really fun exercise to come up with those for yourself. I've only come up with a few. I'm gonna continue making this list, but one of them I wrote was watching a concert from VIP/backstage. I have no idea how I would do that. It's not even necessarily like something that's like a goal or a dream that I need to achieve or want to achieve. It's more of just like, oh, that's a marker that lets me know that I am a VIP person and that I am setting my dreams higher, because little opportunities like this I just get to go through now instead of little negative things that I have to go through. I get to go through the thread of going to a really fun concert in VIP backstage. I'm not in the crowd, I'm special. That's what that goal indicates for me. So come up with a list of little things that it doesn't really matter if you end up doing them or not, because it's not your actual dream, just little indicators along the way to let you know that you are on purpose to your dream. And that's it for this week's video. I will see you in next week's. I love you guys so much. Bye!